Hi lovelies, this is Blossom. So here I am back again. I'm doing a little update today, and I also wanted to check in with you, seeing how you are all doing, if you are all safe and healthy, if everything is all right. The lockdown, well, it's not so much a lockdown here anymore. We have, a lot of the restrictions has been lifted and we can go shop again. Restaurants are starting to are open again. Of course, not a regular way. So there are still restrictions, of course, but it's getting a little bit more normal than before. And I think, in many places it's going that way now. See how that goes, right? However, I have to say that it's been like that for a week, and I haven't been out much yet because I was so into my writing, and I told you that already in the last video. I got so lost in that world, and so that's what I did. A lot of writing during the last month. Yeah, and yesterday I finished. I finished the first draft of my first book. So that's already a big accomplishment. But I also know that I still have so much work to do. So there still will be a lot of editing and, of course, proofreading and all that good stuff. And then I'm also looking for, well, I don't know, when I'm all done, because there are still a few things that I have to change. I looked through my notes yesterday and I have to, sometimes just one or two sentences, but I still have to change a bit around. And then my husband has to read it. He hasn't read the last four chapters yet. So I'm really looking forward to see his reaction. I hope it's a good one. He doesn't know how it ends, and I had to keep that for a very long time from him. And I'm not very good at that, so I avoided talking to him about it. Just he always asks, "So what's happening here? What's happening there?" And I was like, "I have to go now. Bye." Because I'm not very good at lying. So I avoided to talk to him. So nothing slips out. And so there's still a lot of work to do, but having that first draft finished of your first novel, it's just, oh my, it was a very emotional day yesterday. Of course there are things that happens in the book, and you get a bit emotional about that. I did cry a lot during writing. It is really interesting to see how your own personal stuff comes up in your own little fantasy world. And you just work through your own stuff while you write. It doesn't matter if it's fantasy or if you write poetry or whatever you do, it does come up, right? I can definitely say it was an emotional roller coaster. I never thought that when I began to write that I am going to shed so many tears during that process. It's crazy. And yesterday the last few days I was working on the last chapter for 3 or 4 days, I think. And this last chapter really, I was crying the whole time, like, oh man, and especially, coming to that last sentence. The last sentence, I have that in my head for a very long time already. I knew how this book is going to end. I know exactly the image that I wanted to create, and Yeah, it's weird. But I was also happy that I don't have to write the end, but to be continued at the end of the book, because there's definitely going to be a second book that became clear when I was, I think, around chapter 9 or 10. I realized, okay, this is way too big. It's not gonna, not gonna fit in one book. I really have to write two books to tell this story that is in my mind for years. And yesterday, I went through some of the of my very very old first chapters that I wrote for this story, just or just little paragraphs or something like sample chapters, and it's still, the idea is still the same, but it did change a lot. I also remember, the whole outlining process that I started. I started with that in November, December last year, something I think. I did the whole world building and also the outlining, and yeah, a lot did change. And I realized that I'm not so much of an outliner, that I'm really more of a discovery writer. So I was thinking now, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel a bit lost now, because you did the big work. Even if there is still work, I thought that I'm also gonna take a week. I try to go for 2 to 3 weeks, not to work on it, to take a little bit time off writing, just to organize my thoughts and to let it sit a little bit, so I can go back to the first draft with a bit more, where I'm a bit more in control of my emotions again. And but now I don't know what to do. Now, because that was my life. Now I got up, drank coffee, did my yoga, went with the dogs, came home, did my writing, prepared dinner, and then in the evening I did writing. Yesterday was the first evening where I went and watched TV the whole evening. That was weird. That was really weird. Well, not the whole evening. I went back and did some corrections in the chapter. But for I only worked in the evening for 1 hour on my writing, and the rest I was sitting there and watched TV, and I was like, it's so weird. I'm not used to that anymore. Yeah, but hey, that's what happens, right? And yeah, but now I really want to take a step back, and but then it goes back to work. Then I want to outline, even if I'm more of a discovery writer, I still want to have some kind of outlining for the second book. I did. Oh, sorry, I have so many little insects here. Yeah, I want some form of outline. I want to get an idea how many chapters there will be, and yeah, and for the rest we will see. And I'm distracted again because I'm seeing the biggest wasp ever. It's kind of scary. Is that one or is that a hornet? I don't even know. Please stay away. Now, like I said, I'm gonna have to do a lot of proofreading and still a bit of editing. And then I'm thinking about getting beta readers. It's huge. Yes, go away. It's coming again. However, I'm gonna move inside soon. Yeah, so I was wondering, to get beta readers, and that's really not an easy task, because you really need people who really want, first, who really want to read your stuff, and then also take time to not only read it, but to give you meaningful feedback and who are really ready to critique your work in a meaningful manner. And that is not so easy to find, right? And then also comes the who do you trust, you know? At this point, I have like 2 or 3 people in my mind who I could give my work, people who I trust to do that. Because if you just look for random people on the internet, uh, you know, it's a piece of creative work, and it's not protected yet, right? It's not protected, and there's a lot of stealing going on. And I would hate to see my own ideas being stolen, because I wasn't always so worried about that, but in the last month, I don't know how long it is exactly now, I've seen photos of mine being stolen, and I find them in blogs and stuff like that, and there's not much you can do about it, you know? You can write to people, but I got ignored, and I don't know who those people are, you know? It's, you don't, there's not much you can do, and those are only photos, and I find it seriously so pathetic, because sometimes it's just screenshots from my YouTube videos that has been taken, and I know it's fine, but you could ask and then credit, you know, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. I had lately someone who wrote me, who just wrote a blog, so they didn't use any photos or anything like that, but they just mentioned me in one of their blogs, in blogs, and they even asked permission that they can mention me and link, link one of my videos. And I think, yeah, of course you don't have to do that, but it's a nice way, and it's at least you know where you are mentioned, and it's always great. I just did read the blog yesterday. It's about creating a retreat for yourself at home, during the times now that you can't go on official retreats, and it's a really nice. A nice written blog, so I just might put the link down there. I hope I remember. For home retreat, which is a wonderful idea. And this was also what I did with the writing. I really have to say that was something, the whole, because when I looked back now, where I really went crazy with writing started in March, and now we are around mid-March, and now we are mid-May. What day are we? What are we today? Oh yeah, 20, 19, something like that. And so that's not that long to finish a book. But I got rid of any distractions, so there was no YouTube. That's not entirely true. I used YouTube for research for sword fighting techniques. Hello. For sword fighting techniques, and how you fight with knives and how you fight with daggers, and researching about medieval armor, and researching how fast you can travel with a horse. All those things you have to research. And also for that I didn't use YouTube. I researched so many crazy things. And I'm worried a bit now about my search history, because I might, if somebody controls what you are typing in Google, I'm worried if people find out that, I'm gonna be in trouble. It's really about, methods, how to kill people. It doesn't look good for me. If there is murder around here, it doesn't look good for me, because I did research that a lot. But, everything YouTube in general, so I haven't seen any tarot or any kind of, no, other than research and news. there was not much going on for me on YouTube. And then also, well, Facebook, I'm not great at, Facebook is not really a thing for me. But also I became much more quiet on Instagram because, first of all, we are locked down anyway, so there's no big, I went on an adventure pictures and photos, right? And yeah, when you sit inside all day and you write, there's not much you can post about, right? Other than, oh, look at my laptop, it's so great. However, I did post yesterday because I was so... I can't even say I was so happy because I was in tears and I was sad and I was happy. And I don't know, so many different things. So this is again one of those videos that are just my unorganized thoughts. Yeah, and also now that I'm making this, I wonder what do I do with my channel? I know I'm going to have a little break from 2 or 3 weeks, like I said, but I'm not really sure what I do now with my channel. I see more and more that I watch less content, maybe tarot or any other pagan or spiritual channels. Well, I never, to be honest, I never watched many different channels on those topics. But there's also a lot of repetition, which is absolutely fine. Of course there is. I think my whole videos are becoming repetitive, right? And that's why I wonder, what do I do? What haven't I done yet? I have around, not just yet, but I'm close to 200 videos. I talked about many things. And you wonder, what do people like to watch? What do you want to see? And I know that, you can always do those things like hauls and favorites of the months and stuff like that, but I never did that, and I never wanted to do that. No judgment if you do that. It's absolutely fine. It never was my thing. And I always had, just wondering, because I always had fun. Well, I didn't do many, but sometimes I pitched in, with tags, different tarot tags. But I haven't seen any lately. But I haven't seen anything lately. So I might have to have a look if something like that is going on. But otherwise, I really feel like everything I wanted to do on this channel, I did. And now I'm not so sure what to do anymore. So if you have any suggestions, if you really want to see different things. So sorry, there are still no adventure videos. Or there might be. We are allowed to go out much more now again. So there might, my little, for those who are new on my channel, might not have seen yet, but they are under travel and adventure playlist, something like that. I always like doing those because I love the editing and finding fitting music for a video like that. I always like that. But for the rest, I'm not sure. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Let me know what you love to see on this channel or in general. So, and I think I did talk long enough now again. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you so much love and many blessings, and bye.